vigil is planned tonight for a bartender who was killed by a stray bullet when someone opened fire at a Detroit restaurant over the weekend.
His murder is just one of several violent crimes Detroit police responded to over the weekend. Let's get to Fox News' Jessica Dupnack. She's live with the details, starting with the scene at Sloppy Chops on the city's west side. And Jess, this was a popular bartender, one that so many people loved.
Just incredibly sad. We're standing outside of the restaurant, Sloppy Chops, and we noticed this bullet hole right through the glass here. I'm going to show it to you. This is where a stray bullet went through into the restaurant where 30-year-old Alexandria Johnson was bartending. Sadly, she was killed from just that stray bullet. 2 other men shot outside. They are expected to be okay. A very busy weekend for Detroit police. We're talking about 3 people shot out here and another 6 at a motorcycle club on Detroit's west side.
It's horrible. It's horrible. It's unfortunate. And we're going to do our best to figure out exactly what happened.
A motorcycle club on Detroit's west side, the scene of a mass shooting early Sunday morning. 6 people were shot outside of the MC off of Grand River near Cloverdale. One of the victims was killed, and at least one of the others is in critical condition.
Many of the victims were not in a position to give a statement, so we're still working on the facts of the case, trying to gather information.
For now, Detroit Police Commander Kimberly Blackwell says some kind of argument turned to shots fired at a gathering. Her detectives looking for video witnesses to corroborate a story, then hopefully a suspect.
And as we do with all of the investigations, any assistance from the public would be greatly appreciated.
The night before, Saturday around midnight, another 3 people were shot. Investigators say several men were shooting at each other outside of Sloppy Chops restaurant off West McNichols, a few blocks west of the lodge. Inside that restaurant, a bartender, a 30-year-old woman named Alexandria Johnson, was hit by that stray bullet and killed. 2 men outside were also shot but are expected to make it.
Another sad incident that you know, we hate to see.
As if that wasn't keeping detectives busy enough, another homicide. This time off Greenfield near 7 Mile, a man was found shot and killed outside Monday morning just before 8 o'clock.
We have a person of interest that we're speaking with.
A woman in her 50s being called a person of interest as of Monday afternoon. But as far as what led to the shooting, the commander says they're working on it.
Any additional information, or if there are any witnesses or folks that have information, we would greatly appreciate it.
Back out here live at the location where 3 people were shot, including that bartender from a stray bullet. There is a vigil planned right here tonight for Alexandria Johnson. And remember, that case, it's still unsolved. The shooter or shooters is still out there. Detroit police are looking for tips. Reporting live on Detroit's west side, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, Jess, anytime you hear about a shooting like this and a loss of life, it's sad, but an innocent bystander, it just hurts even worse, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and especially when you see just what are the chances. A shooting out here, it's bricked off really, and just one of those bullets, that's all it took to go through the window and hit Alexandria. Just terribly sad. And of course, police, they need your help.
Anyone with information should pick up the phone and call Detroit police right away. Jessica Dupnack for us live tonight. Thank you.
Tonight, we're getting our first glimpse at Michigan native Paul Whelan's life behind bars in Russia. This video shows Whelan standing among other inmates, eating and working. The video was released by a Russian state-funded media source, which frequently publishes pro-Putin propaganda. Russia accused Whelan of spying, something both he and the State Department have denied. He was given a 16-year prison sentence back in 2020, and this December will mark 5 years behind bars.
Well, we are learning more tonight about a deadly crash in Buren Township on Sunday night. Michigan State Police say a 23-year-old man from Ypsilanti died. A woman and man now in critical condition. Another is in stable condition. Witnesses telling state police moments before the crash they saw one of the victims standing in the sunroof before a driver lost control. All the surviving victims are in their early 20s. The wreck tied up the westbound side of the freeway near Rawsonville Road for several hours.
60 years ago today marked a pivotal moment in our nation's history.
It sure did. We're talking about the March on Washington, a march obviously advocating for the civil rights of African Americans and where Martin Luther King Jr. presented his I Have a Dream speech. Fox 2's Ingrid Kelly has more from those who witnessed that historic day up close.
Well, I remember being a young child, just 6 years old, and I lived in Washington, D.C.
It's a flashback to a pivotal moment in time.
You know, I do think that I remember that it was history in the making.
Ora Hirsch, who would eventually become the president of Oakland University, was in a sea of people.
The March on Washington.
Her father, a prominent religious leader, Rabbi Richard Hirsch, was a friend and supporter of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Whenever Martin Luther King would come to Washington, he never had an office, so he used my father's office on Massachusetts Avenue to do his work. And in fact, in Washington and in my dad's office, he drafted the 1964 Civil Rights Act and the 1965 Voting Rights Act.
But it was in 1963 when Rabbi Hirsch and his wife took their daughter to the March on Washington, an event that allowed King's "I Have a Dream" speech to captivate and inspire thousands, including young Ora.
I remember thinking about the dream and what the dream meant, and that it was powerful to have a dream of an idyllic future.
As the words "I have a dream" resonated with Ora, they helped to plant seeds of activism in this future leader.
Extremely powerful message for me, and have remained an important part of every single job that I've had ever since.
Young Ora would soon become Dr. Ora Hirsch Pescovitz, earning a medical degree, forging her way in corporate America, and becoming the current president of Oakland University, where she is determined to not lose sight of King's dream.
In spite of the fact that we cannot recruit on the basis of affirmative action, we are very successful in recruiting underrepresented students and students who are underserved.
The president of Oakland University not only keeps King's dream alive through her leadership, but also by giving back.
I've made several donations to try to do that. I made one donation in my parents' honor, specifically for racial and social justice, really specifically in honor of exactly MLK's dream, and that really was to recruit and retain faculty, underrepresented faculty, so that our students could see faculty who look like them.
But despite how many seeds that day in 1963 planted, this leader admits that more can be done to turn King's dream into reality, and she will keep working to achieve the words that captivated a young 6-year-old to not only dream, but to achieve.
Great leaders have that capacity through their words and their actions to inspire.
Would you say that's the leader you are?
Well, I don't know that that's the leader I am, but it might be the leader I aspire to be.
On the campus of Oakland University, Ingrid Kelly, Fox 2 News.
Well, it was a beautiful sunny day as many kids started school today.
It's hard because when you think back to when you were a kid, was it easier to go back when it was nice outside, or was it worse?
Yeah, I think it was
I feel like it's harder. It feels like it's still nice
tough.
outside. You got to sit in the classroom. Rich Luderman with a look at our forecast. Rich, tell us this weather's going to last a little while. We deserve it.
We have a great stretch of weather through the rest of the week. The only exception will be tomorrow late in the day, Tuesday evening, a shower chance. Right now, 75 for us, and for Saginaw, way up there around Marquette, 75 degrees. There's 80 in Chicago. How about live pictures from St. Joseph, right next to Benton Harbor? That's Lake Michigan. Boy, it looks nice there. Blue skies, temperatures in the lower 70s. We're going to get back down to 55. It stays very comfortable again tonight. And then take a peek late in the day tomorrow, Tuesday evening as well, perhaps a shower. Then Wednesday is a bit cooler. How about a nice warm-up heading into the Labor Day weekend? We're going to show you those numbers in the 7-day coming up in 10. Taryn, back to you.
All right, thanks, Rich. Well, today was the first day of school, like we said, for many districts. We stopped by Detroit's Fisher Magnet Upper Academy, where students received quite the welcome. A line of professionals showed up to high-five the kids on their way in, but the celebration also had a live band, free backpacks, supplies, even free haircuts. What a great way to show these kids, these students, they are supported and get them started off on the right note.
You know, don't know what joy internally it brings these young people. Just to say, give them encouragement, high fives on the first day of school. I remember when I was a kid, I didn't have anything like this. But I said, as a part of this role of running the Ford Resource Engagement Center, I wanted to support the kids in an innovative way, and look what we have.
I want to tell them to stay strong, hold their heads up, and they can do anything they put their minds and hearts to.
New this year, all Michigan public school students can receive free breakfast and lunch at school regardless of their income. That's thanks to a new allocation in the state budget. About 75% of Michigan's districts are starting school before Labor Day this year.
Every kid deserves a meal, and that's wonderful that they get to go back to a safe place where they get that.
Like a lot of fun, too.
Yeah, it was. Well, a star-studded day at the Detroit Golf Club, a charity event raising more than $1 million for the Children's Miracle Network.
Fox News' Ryan Armani was there and caught up with some of the famous faces who flew into town.
It was a who's who of celebrities out at the Detroit Golf Club on Monday. The Feldman Automotive Children's Miracle Network Celebrity Golf Outing benefiting Beaumont Children's and the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation.
I love Mark. I love Mark. I've known him for 8 years. We're good friends. We're business partners. He's very, very supportive of everything we do, and it's super exciting.
Mark,
we like to bust each other's chops. We're like brothers, so, you know.
Well, I saw you guys busting each other's chops about the calf size here. What's the...
Don't you dare do that. How dare you? This is a charity event.
This event alone will raise $1.5 million.
It's overwhelming, the amount of generosity with people with obviously with their money and also with their time. All of our friends and celebrities have come out, but, you know, they're benefiting great causes, so people really stepping up, and hopefully next year we're going to double it.
Over 60 celebs from film and sports taking part. Johnny Drama, Johnny freaking Drama, unbelievable. Kevin Dillon, who played Johnny Drama in Entourage, was there. He's a pretty big sports fan, too. We're really excited about the Lions this year.
Yeah.
You into the NFL at all?
Big time,
Yeah.
big time. But I'm a Giants fan, so I'm pretty excited about my Giants. Go Lions, go Giants. How about that?
And the Jets look pretty good, too. Now, do you hate the Jets?
No, I don't hate the Jets. I feel, you know, I'd like to see them have a decent season for a change, and Aaron Rodgers maybe can do something with this franchise, but they've had a long time. It's been a long time since they've had a good season, so hopefully for the Jets they'll get something going on.
How about Lions and Giants in the NFC Championship game?
I'd like to see that a lot. I would like to see that a lot.
Kevin James from King of Queens, Paul Blart Mall Cop, and Hitch crashed our live shot with UFC champ Chris Weidman. One of my favorite scenes in cinema is when in Hitch, when Will Smith teaches you to dance. Can you teach me? Just stay right here. How do I stay in my space?
Well, I was the guy who was learning, remember? How am I going to teach you?
You learned it.
I didn't learn it. That was the whole premise. I was pretty bad. You remember he slapped me in the face.
Awesome, man. We appreciate it.
You guys are great.
Good to see you. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, champ.
What a cool event. You know, it's the first time I've come. And, boy, I tell you, not only the people that are here, but the number of people that are here. Then the day's great. The course is great. God, I get to be with you. This is a hell of a deal.
At the Detroit Golf Club, Ryan Armani, Fox 2 News.